episode of What's for Dinner, Prepper's Pantry Style. Tonight I'm going to make chicken a la king from food storage. And when I say food storage, I include my freezers because I have vegetables out of the freezer. I'm going to be using some chicken that I home canned, plus 1 can of chicken that I had in my pantry. I only have 2 cans of chicken left in my pantry that are not home canned. And I need to use them because the use by date is from years ago. So I'm going to...
So when the power goes out, this will be one of the first things we have.
This dish?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we're going to have, and this is how we're going to make it. And I had several requests to show how I make white gravy, and this would be a basic start on how to make white gravy. And I'm going to share that with you. We're going to start with a stick of butter, which I have melting in the pot. Over there. So that's a stick is a 1/2 cup, so we have an equal amount of flour. And then we have 4 cups of milk. Or you can do 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of chicken broth, but I'm doing 4 cups of milk and 2 teaspoons of my Shirley J chicken bouillon, because you need 1/2 teaspoon per cup. And this would be, this is to richen the sauce. We're also going to be using a teaspoon each. Poultry seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, and celery seed. And I'm going to add pink Himalayan salt, Himalayan pink salt. Thank you to Cat's Cradle for that heads up about Amazon and the 2-pound bags. I bought mine and they came really fast. And we'll also use a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. And then I just have a 1-pound package of mixed vegetables. It's corn, carrots, peas, and green beans. And that's just nice to throw in there. And a dash or 2 of Tabasco or whatever hot sauce you like. So let's come over here and I'm going to bring my flour. And I'm going to get a whisk. And we're going to have some refrigerator biscuits because I have them and they need to be used. And if you'll recall, it's last month when the grocery store had the meal deal where I got the biscuits and the sausage and eggs and orange juice. And this is the last roll of biscuits that I have in the fridge, and they need to be cooked. So I'm going to just pop those in the oven right now. Now, so our stick of butter is melted, and we're going to stir in. You want to switch places with me? We're going to switch. We're going to stir in 1/2 cup of flour, and this is how you start a basic white gravy. Now, when I make white gravy for chicken fried steak or sausage gravy, you would start with whatever fat was in the pan. You would start with an equivalent amount of flour and fat. So if you're going to make sausage gravy, just brown your sausage in the pan and then add enough flour until it looks like this. And then you're just going to stir this a little bit. Cook it. You want to cook the starchiness out of that flour, okay? And because white gravy is a milk gravy, and it would be what you would make sausage gravy with, what I'm going to show you is up to the point where you would add the sausage, okay? We're not adding sausage to our chicken a la king, because it's not sausage a la king.
Bacon?
Not bacon a la king either, sweetie. I'm sorry to disappoint you tonight. And this is a really quick meal. We've been out in the yard, in the garden, all day long. And I just got out of the shower. And this is a good throw-together meal with staples that I already have in my pantry. Now, you can see that the bubbles are starting to get a little large because the water is cooking out of that butter. And you don't want it to go brown. I have it on medium heat. I'm going to grab my milk. And of course, if you were going to do this sausage gravy, you would be doing this in the pan that you browned your sausage in. You can do it with bacon fat. You can do it with plain oil. You can do it with butter, like I have here. Now, you're going to want to whisk this until it becomes thick. And you want to whisk it, making sure that no lumps. You don't want to get any lumps. Now, if this isn't quite thick enough for your taste, then you know we can always add a little Wonder flour directly to the pot because that's not going to lump. What I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to go ahead and add my bouillon. and stir that in and get it going. I'm going to wait to add any salt because even though I put the Himalayan salt out, I'm not going to add any until I taste it because bouillon has a lot of salt in it to begin with. Now, I even add the chicken bouillon to my white gravy because I think it adds good flavor. I also add all of these same seasonings, which is the garlic, the onion powder, the celery seed, and the poultry seasoning. Now, you may not need to add poultry seasoning to your sausage gravy because sausage is already heavily seasoned with sage anyway. So that may not be a step that you need to take. But this is all to personal taste. If you want just a white sauce, you would leave all of these flavorings out and you'll have a bechamel, which is traditionally what you would start a chicken a la king with, a bechamel sauce. This is also the sauce you would start chip beef on toast with, or cream chicken, or cream tuna, or even, you know what, creamed onions at Thanksgiving time. When you make a casserole of creamed pearl onions, oh, yummy. In fact, I think I even have some pearl onions that I might toss in here, but Micah won't eat that, so maybe I'll refrain. Micah hates onions. She's sitting over there. She can hear me. She's not that oblivious. You'd be surprised what your 12-year-old can hear when you think they're not listening. You'd be surprised what your 14-year-old can hear you say from down the hall when you're whispering, when they really want to hear you.
And you can't.
And then when you yell for them, they don't answer.
Tell them right to their face.
I know I'm not alone in this, folks. I am not the only parent with a teenager. Okay, I'm going to quit whisking for right now, and I'm going to grab a wooden spoon. And you have to be patient. You can't hurry this because you'll burn it and then it'll start to stick on the bottom. And it doesn't take that long. But you just want, after you know that it's that flour and butter is whisked well enough into the milk, you won't, be able to tell. And it's smooth. And you don't feel a lot of graininess in there. Now, you don't get rid of your whisk and don't walk away from this, because once it starts to thicken, it will start to thicken really quickly. And you don't want it to stick to the bottom because then you run the chance of it burning and then you'll ruin your sauce. But these are all things that you already have on your pantry shelf, most likely. And the other thing is too, do you like that white gravy mix that you get in the grocery store, the McCormick, country gravy mix? Go ahead and use that. It's a really great place to start for a quick meal. Definitely help them in a hurry material. Definitely prepper's pantry material, because if you have that gravy mix in your preps, then all you really have to do is add some water or some canned milk and a little bit of chicken stock. Maybe you've got canned chicken stock in your preps and canned evaporated milk, and then you won't have to add so much water. Because we don't know if we're going to be in a situation where we have little water. Even though we're storing water, we definitely won't want to waste it on unnecessary things, that's for certain. But I can already tell this is starting to thicken up, and it's going to start to go really fast. Because once it starts to hit a boil, and I'm keeping this on camera for the entire time because I want you to see how little time it actually takes. And I may be standing here for a few minutes, but people sometimes complain that my videos are a little bit on the lengthy side, and that's fine. That's why YouTube puts a little sign in the corner of each thumbnail that tells you how long the video is, and you can decide whether or not you have time to watch it or save it to watch later, maybe when you get home before you go to bed or something.
But then a lot more people like how your videos go real time.
That's true. I have a lot of people who really enjoy the real-time aspect of my cooking videos, and I enjoy doing it that way because I think that you should be able to see exactly how long something takes. I don't like to go away and then splice everything together simply because, sometimes if I go away, it only takes a minute or two, especially if I'm mixing a cake batter or rolling out a dough or whatever it is I may be doing, like this, stirring a pot of chicken a la king, white gravy. Now I can already tell it's starting to resist me pretty well, and the bottom of the pan feels like it's starting to stick just a hair, and that's okay. You're going to want this to thicken. You want it to come to a little bit of a simmer. Then you'll know that the flour is completely cooked and all of the liquid and the flour molecules have married. Because basically that's what's happening, is they're actually becoming one. You've coated each grain of flour with some fat, and then you've introduced a liquid, and they're all having a party in there together. So and if this sits a little bit without being on the heat, it will thicken. But if you were making a white sausage gravy or just a white gravy to have over some chicken cutlets or some oven fried pork chops, then you would leave it right here, and then you would call this white gravy. If you were going to turn this into sausage gravy, of course you would already have browned your sausage in a skillet, and you would build your sauce in that skillet directly with that sausage fat. And then at this point, you would add the sausage back to the pan. And I'm talking bulk sausage that you've browned off like hamburger meat. And then you add your sausage back to the pan. You taste it for seasoning. I like a lot of black pepper in my sausage gravy. And I think the addition of the garlic powder really makes a huge difference in white gravy, because sometimes white gravy can be really, really bland. And I mean, a bechamel is usually bland, let's face it. But it is one of the mother sauces, and from that sauce you can create so many other things. You can make Mornay sauce by adding cheese to it. And I don't know if you can see how thick this is now. It's very thick. And now I'm going to add the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and add the liquid and the chicken. I'm going to break this up. I'm keeping the heat on because I've just introduced some extra broth. Not a whole lot, but I don't want to throw that broth away either. And in lean times, you can get away with serving 4 people from that one can of chicken, that one jar that I just put in there. But because these aren't so lean right now, we're going to use it up.
We'll have some leftovers.
And we will have leftovers for sure. I'll take it for lunch tomorrow, or Rick might have it for breakfast or some such thing. You doing okay, babe? Mm-hmm. Okay. We've been working so hard today, and then I worry that Rick is too tired, but he says he's all right. Okay, let's move these things out of the way. I'm going to throw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a lot of sauce, so that is really not that much. You can also choose to put a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in here. I just have the Tabasco at the side of the stove, so why not use it? You can use Texas Pete, Springs, whatever is your preference. I'm also going to toss in about 20 grinds on my grinder of black pepper. This is the mixed peppercorn blend, and I really like it because it's got allspice berries and it's got red, pink, white, black, and green peppercorns, and they're fabulous. Oh, biscuits are done.
Ooh, just in time.
Just in time. They are not burnt. They're perfect on the bottom. See? I have a terrible tendency to burn these silly things. Isn't that stupid? I mean, really. I can cook scratch biscuits with my eyes closed, but if I put a tube of biscuits in that oven like that...
You need about a quarter cup of that.
Oh, I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to start with a half a bag of this vegetable blend because I don't want to overdo Sometimes you can just put too many. Now, the story about the chicken a la king. Put a little bit more. My mother used to make this when I was a kid, and I absolutely detested it. It was my most unfavorite dinner. It had no flavor. It was like eating chicken in paste. I'm not kidding. I love my mother, and my mother is a phenomenal cook, but I gotta tell you, chicken a la king to me was like the most disgusting dinner you could ever put in front of me. Until I grew up and I made it for myself because I figured out how to make it to where I enjoyed it. And that vegetable doesn't look like it's too much, so, but you want me to save some for guess who? Is that enough?
Yes, fine.
Save it for the toidle. Okay, and you can see this is a really easy one-pot dinner.
I'll have to do a video so I show you all the crazy stuff that I feed this turtle.
The turtle is
And he loves it all.
an eating machine. He's so cool.
Voracious appetite.
He really is. It's really fun. We'll have to tell you the story about how we ended up with him.
And we'll do that when we do the turtle video.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to taste it for seasoning. I'll get a little piece of chicken here. It smells really good. Oh, that's nice. Here, honey. Oh. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Oops.
Okay.
It's not very hot. It's not that hot because I just put those frozen veggies in there.
Oh, wow.
Oops. I dripped on you. Okay. We are ready to have supper. Now, I know some people who actually can chicken a la king. I believe Paula over at Horticulture and Homes cans chicken a la king. And I've never considered doing that, but I might. I think that you've got an issue with the flour, but I believe that she uses clear gel and keeps it thin. So I'll have to re-watch her video. Alright, so let's get a plate. Fix you a plate of this delicious chicken a la king.
And do them over the biscuits?
I'm going to do them over the biscuits.
Awesome.
And just pull this biscuit in half. Oh, it's hot. Just like that. And ladle over this goodness. One pot meal. You've got your meat, you've got your veggies, some gravy. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty good for a hard day in the garden. I think that looks awesome. There you have it. Chicken a la king from your food storage. Remember, if you want to do this completely from dry preps, you can. You can use vegetable oil instead of butter. You can use dehydrated celery, dehydrated carrots, dehydrated peas, dehydrated corn, any type of dehydrated vegetable you want to toss in there, do it, and it'll be beautiful. You might have to cook it a little longer, and you might have to add a little extra liquid, or you'll have to rehydrate those vegetables before you use them, and then use that vegetable liquor to make your sauce with. So, it couldn't be easier. It only took 15-20 minutes to throw it together, and in the end you have a good hearty meal after a hard working day. So, I hope you try this, and I hope you love it. And until next time, happy eating!